The Phoenix Suns embarrassed themselves last night in their loss to the Philadelphia 76ers, and their internal frustration exploded into a full-on crash out at the end of the second quarter, and they tried to fight the whole 76ers team.
Now Oubre got plenty to say to Dillon Brooks. Oubre picking up the personal foul.
James Harden's debut for the Cleveland Cavaliers looks good on paper, but if you ignore one glaring stat, which backs up what I said since the James Harden trade, the Cavs got worse by making this trade. The Phoenix Suns showed their biggest weakness last night, which they've been showing all season, and it's pretty obvious, but they also embarrassed themselves by acting like big crybabies the whole game and then tried to start a fight with the entire 76ers team. The first thing they did was cried and complained the entire first half every single time Joel Embiid got a whistle. So let's go look at some of those plays that they were crashing out about and decide if it was a foul or not. Let's see here. Joel Embiid on Mark Williams one-on-one. Reach. Foul. Watch Dillon Brooks right here. That's on the floor. It was not on the floor. Devin Booker on Joel Embiid right here. Let's see. Foul. And I know a lot of you guys are going to say, that's not a foul. Look, man, you can't touch a jump shooter. This is what Joel Embiid is great at. You're leaning up into his space right here. He's just going to shoot the ball. You're making contact. It's a foul. How is that a foul, ref? You touched a jump shooter, man. This isn't rocket science. All right, guys, they kind of have a point with this one. Joel Embiid right here going to fake the handoff to Quentin Grimes, and watch what happens with Dillon Brooks on this one. All right, so far, 2 fouls and 1 flop. This one was so funny because it's such an obvious foul, and Goodwin is not only complaining to the officials, he's telling the coach to challenge the play. Joel Embiid loses the ball right here, gets it back. He's just going to put it straight up, and Goodwin just reaches in and hacks him. I mean, it's a foul, dude. Now watch Goodwin complain about the call and then call for a review. Anyway, this all led to some chirping back and forth, and then the second half ended with Joel Embiid throwing the ball over his head at the buzzer as he was sitting on the floor, and Devin Booker getting really upset about it, and I'm not even really sure why. Here you go. Joel Embiid corrals a loose ball. Clock's running out. He's just going to throw it up over his head. Devin Booker got really upset about this. It looks like he says, "Don't do that shit." Watch. Don't do that shit. You hit me with the ball. Is that what he said? What? I'm not sure. This is also a guy that got upset about getting double teamed in a pickup game in the middle of the summer. He is an interesting guy. Let's see. Third quarter. This is posted by Brick Center. It says nasty hoops by Embiid. Let's watch. Foul. Foul. Am I missing something? Watch the rest. Dillon Brooks, foul. 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 What are we talking about, man? Fourth quarter, Joel Embiid, Dillon Brooks, ISO, foul. Foul. But he hits the shot anyway. Gets up off the floor and says, "You stink. You guys stink, man. You guys stink." Here's what Devin Booker had to say about it.
Into it with him a little bit at halftime. I told him he's too good of a player to be flopping like that.
Too good of a player to be flopping like that, he said to Joel Embiid. Here's what Dillon Brooks said.
I can guard the flopping and all that. 14 times, stuff that's not even shooting fouls. Crew of refs that were reffing the game for Philly tonight.
All the flopping, it wasn't even shooting fouls, and it was a great crew of refs that were reffing the game for Philly tonight. Let's see some flopping. Oh, is that Dillon Brooks flopping? I thought the Sixers were flopping. So Dillon Brooks pulls off an egregious flop here. Gets the call. Kelly Oubre says that's offensive, right? Nope, they called it the other way. He gets up and Kelly Oubre makes sure to tell him right to his face, that's a fucking flop, man. And they get face to face. And things continue. Should we do some Devin Booker flops? How about this one? Oh my God. Absolutely disgraceful. And you want to go in a postgame and talk about Joel Embiid flopping. And Dylan Brooks wants to talk about flopping. The Suns embarrassed themselves last night. They cried the whole game. They tried to pull off their own flopping antics. Their real problem is they don't have a point guard. They can't generate offense in the half court. They have a bottom 7 offensive rating in the NBA. They are not good. They are a bunch of complainers. And they got punked last night. We got to talk about James Harden's debut for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But first, this is Run It Back NBA. Thank you for tuning in. I will react to NBA news, highlights, drama, and everything else on this channel every single day. If that interests you, hit the subscribe button right now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of these daily NBA breakdowns. On to James Harden's debut for the Cleveland Cavaliers. The box score doesn't tell the whole story. So you say James Harden had 23 points and 8 assists in his debut and the Cavs won. What you don't see is that, first of all, the Sacramento Kings are the 29th ranked defense in the NBA, and they were playing without Zach LaVine. This is a very bad team, and the Cleveland Cavaliers struggled. But the thing that really stood out to me was I was watching it, and I was saying to myself, wait a minute, it feels like the Kings made a run every time James Harden was on the floor, and the Cavaliers made a run every single time James Harden was off the floor. And then I went and checked the plus minus, and my feeling was 100% correct. The Cavaliers started the game out in a deficit in the first quarter. James Harden went to the bench. They went on a 17-4 run. The Kings came all the way back. A lot of it with James Harden on the floor. Ended up by 10 in the third quarter. When James Harden went out of the game in that third quarter, the Cleveland Cavaliers immediately went on a 9-0 run to get back into the game. And it mainly happened because the Cavs are at their best when the ball is in Donovan Mitchell's hands. This is what I said about this James Harden trade to the Cavs. It might look good on paper. You might think this is one of the best facilitators of all time. He's going to make the team better. The Cavs are best with the ball in Donovan Mitchell's hands. Now, I will say this. Down in the fourth quarter, it was a close game, and James Harden hit 2 big threes in that fourth quarter. But both of those threes that he hit in that fourth quarter were catch-and-shoot threes off the ball with Donovan Mitchell running the offense, creating the offense with the ball in his hands. Subsequently, James Harden was wide open for 3 because the Kings are really bad defensively. And shout out to him, he knocked him down and he made him pay. But what I saw last night with the James Harden-centric offense for the Cavs versus the Donovan Mitchell-centric offense for the Cavs is one was losing to the Kings and one beat the Kings. And they just so happen to survive because it's the Kings. I don't think this James Harden thing in Cleveland is going to work, especially against more competitive teams than the Sacramento Kings. I honestly think the Cavs looked better last night with Donovan Mitchell on the ball and with Dennis Schroeder on the ball. I think James Harden actually made the Cavs worse. You will see it in time, and they'll buy James Harden out of the second year of his contract, of his player option. They'll buy him out right before Donovan Mitchell leaves in free agency, and the Cavs will be back in tank mode. But I just wanted to let you know, James Harden's debut for the Cavs last night was not good. You might see the stat sheet and see 23-8. What I saw was a player holding the Cavaliers back every time he came onto the floor, and the Cavaliers hitting their stride every single time he went to the bench, and they survived because it's against a bad team. Whether you agree or disagree, thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in to Run It Back NBA. If you enjoyed this content, hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends, Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of these NBA breakdowns. I'll see you on the next one.